It was difficult to imagine Michael Jackson view romantic relationships in a positive light when he was surrounded by such poor examples. His parents' marriage had really been happy. Marlon's marriage to Carol had been troubled, though they had reconciled. It was hard to know what was going on with Jermaine's relationship, but Hazel seemed demure to most observers. Jackie's marriage was also in trouble at this time because he had cheated in it. The two would end up divorcing, and the final decree will not occur until August 1987. After they had cut each other through such misery and legislation as possible, luckily Teo seemed to be faring well with Dee Dee. Still, Michael had learned early on to be cautious before committing himself to any relationship that could become serious. Therefore, he stayed alone, except for the occasional youth, such as Emmanuel Lewis in 1884, a 10-year-old kid named Jonathan Spence, who had become a constant companion. The two were seen nuzzling and hung out throughout the fall of 1984. Among with Michael's huge success came resurgence of rumors about his sexuality. Michael had always been extremely sensitive about the issues of sexuality, and nothing annoyed him more than the fact that it kept coming up every few years. Yet by September 1984, the question remained, is Michael gay? However, being a 26-year-old virgin teen idol devoted to a sexually representative religion is not easy, especially when show business dictates that a male celebrity will be romantically involved, to use Michael Jackson's words, with the women thought the existence of Tim O'Neill and Brooke Shields in his life. But the public would see through those charades and tongues continued to wag. One rumor had it that when Michael was younger, Joseph had ordered to be injected with female hormones to ensure that his voice will not change with maturity. He wanted to remain high pitched and thus commercial. Not true, said Michael's vocal coach, Seth Riggs. He started with a high voice, and I even take it higher. It's ridiculous. I don't even know if it's possible to do that. During one break on a vocal lesson, according to Seth, he said to Michael, "You know, everybody thinks you're gay." Michael nodded his head and told Riggs this story. A tall, good-looking blonde approached him one day and said, "Michael, I think you're wonderful. I'm sure I would like to go to bed with you." Michael glared at him. "When was the last time you read the Bible?" he asked. The blonde said nothing. "You know, you really should read it because there is some real information in there about homosexuality." "Sure, I guess if I was a girl, it would be a different story," said the fellow. "Then you will have with me." "No, I wouldn't," Michaels told him. "There are some very direct words and on that in the Bible too." Still, there were some other reports about Michael. For instance, reporter Denise Warwell was writing a story about him for Time and had tried to arrange an interview with him, but to no avail. Instead, she interviewed his parents. Unbeknownst to Michael, Joseph decided to give the reporter a tour of the house. He knocked on Michael's bedroom door. There was no answer. "Michael, I have someone I want you to meet," Joseph said. He opened the door. "Can I bring her into your room?" Denise reported that Michael was inside with a male friend about 20 years old, watching television. The glow from the set was the only light in the room. She noticed the outline of Michael's mannequins against the wall. Michael was startled by the presence of his father and his guest. He nervously introduced Michael to his friend, using just a first name. Michael then shook hands with the journalist, who reported that his handshake felt like a cloud. He barely said hello. Michael's friend then nervously extended his hand. She reported that it was damp. Michael stared at the writer for a moment and then began watching television again. As Joseph and Denise backed out of the room, Joseph had the look of a man who just opened Pandora's box. Michael has a friend over, Joseph explained. He isn't about to give any interviews. You got pretty close, though, he said with a nervous chuckle. After Denise left the house, a security guard came running after her. Joseph and Catherine went to speak to her again. Joseph must have told his wife what occurred in the bedroom. We're hoping that you set the record straight and put a stop to the rumors, Catherine said to she saw Denise. They say Michael is gay. Michael is not gay. It's against his religion. It's against God. The Bible speaks against it. Michael is not gay, repeated Joseph empathetically. Perhaps Michael is not gay, but he was curious about the lifestyle just the same. My friend remembered the day he and Michael went into a gay bar in San Michael Boulevard in West Hollywood. Michael was recording at Therapy Studios, which was across the street from a bar in a predominantly gay section of Hollywood. The friend recalled, I said to him, Hey man, let's go get a drink at the bar. He told me he didn't drink, but perhaps he could get orange juice. You know it's a gay bar, I warned him. Really? I never been to a gay bar, he said. What goes on there? He asked. I told him he should go and see for himself. He hesitated. Well, I've always wanted to. Okay, let's do it. So, and we went. Why is it so dark in here? Michael wants to know. I had the impression he had never seen in any bar, let alone a gay one. There were a few guys in there, but it was clear that there were many. Michael took a deep breath and went up to the bartender and ordered orange juice. The bartender said, Hey, aren't you Michael Jackson? He said, Nope, I told him, looked at him. I looked like him. He turned to me and winked. He and I sat in a corner and watched all the guys. He was recognized by a few, but they left him alone. Not one person came up to him. Is this all that they do here? Michael asked me. They just drink and talk and watch videos? I wonder what he thought people did in bars. As we were sitting there, two men walked in and immediately began kissing each other. When Michael saw them making out, I could feel him tense up. Finally said, Okay, I've seen enough. Let's leave. So we got up and walked out. On the way out, Michael said, I can't believe those two guys kissed one another. How could they do that? Maybe they liked each other, I told him. Well, that's what they do in gay bars. Don't think I'll be going to any more, Michael decided. The same friend remembered the day he and Michael went to specialize on toys and graphy. On the back of the shop, behind a great area, a browser will find gay reading material and photo magazines. Hey, what's back there? Michael wants to know as soon as he walked in. You don't want to know, said his friend. Yeah, I do want to know, Michael insisted. Then he proceeded to boldly go where probably no Jackson had ever gone before. 30 seconds later, he came running back. He looked shaken, as if he had just seen a ghost. We gotta go, now, he said nervously. Why? You don't want to know, Michael answered. The more enigmatic Michael remained, the more people would talk and even joke about him. His videographer, Steve Howell, once asked him about a comedy sketch Eddie Murphy had performed on Sunday Night Live, in which he played an infamous and affected Michael as a guest in as a fictional talk show, Guy Talk, along with an equally Faye Librans played by another actor. The two bragged about their sexual exploits with women. It was ludicrous and extremely funny. Michael had smiled. I don't mind it, he said softly. The more they make fun of me, the more people are going to wonder what I really am. I don't care when people call me a. No one knows the truth. No one knows who or what I am. You don't care what people say about you? They can say what they want to say because the bottom line is they don't know and everyone is going to continue searching to find out whether I'm gay, straight, or whatever, Michael explained. It doesn't bother me, and the longer it takes them to discover this, the more famous I will be. Perhaps that's how Michael sometimes felt, but he also he was also a man who told Rolling Stones writer Jerry Hershey that he lives his life with obsessive caution, just like hemophiliac who can't afford to be scratched in any way. In August 1984, a tabloid alleged that Michael was having an affair with British pop star Boy George, an allegation that was not true. Michael was livid. His publicist, Norman Winter, recalled, Michael was angry that there were these stories about him being gay, that little kids could barely read were hearing about these rumors. Maybe from their mothers who would buy the tabloids and talk to others about them. Who knows? The point is that he felt he was getting a reputation he didn't want. He told me that he wanted to organize a press conference to refute the stories. I told him I thought it might not be a good idea. Who gave them any credibility? Maybe they'll just blow over, he said. No, they just keep getting worse. I have to do something now. Frank DeLeo was against the idea, but Michael is a very strong minded person. He told me that he wanted to say, I wrote the text of the statement, he proved it, and he went from there. The problem was that Michael just said that he did not want to appear at the press conference. He was too shy to face the press and discuss such a personal matter. On September 5th, 1984, a major news conference was arranged in a West Hollywood sound studio. Frank DeLeo, in dark sunglasses and with a cigar in his mouth, stepped in front of a podium to announce that he was about to read a two-page segment from Michael, who, as you all know, has risen to the pinnacle of success in his field. In a gruff, tough guy voice, the burly manager read, For some time now, I have been searching my conscience as to whether or not I should publicly react to the many falsehoods that have been spread about me. I have decided to make this statement based on the injustice of these allegations and the far-reaching trauma those who feel close to me are suffering. I feel very fortunate to have been blessed with recognition for my efforts. This recognition also brings with it a responsibility to one admirers through the world. Performers should always serve as role models who set an example for young people. It saddens me that many actually may believe the person in flurry of false accusations. To this end, I do mean end. No, I never taken hormones to maintain my high voice. No, I never had my cheekbones altered in any way. No, I never had cosmetic surgery on my eyes. Yes, one day in the future I plan to get married and have a family. Any statements to the contrary are simply untrue. Henceforth, as new fantasies are printed, I have advised my attorneys of my willingness to institute legal action and subsequently prosecute all guilty of the fullest extent of the law. As noted earlier, I love children. We all know that kids are very impressionable and therefore sub- susceptible to such stories. I'm certain that some have already been hurt by this terrible slander. In addition to their admiration, I would like to keep their respect. After reading the statement, Frank refused to answer questions from the assemblage of reporters and left the podium. No celebrity had ever gone to such lengths to proclaim his or her heterosexuality. The fact that Michael didn't appear in person dampened his declaration. Also, his statement was full of half truths. Perhaps he had surgery on his eyes, as he claimed, but he certainly had surgery on his nose and three times. How could he repudiate one story relating to plastic surgery without admitting the truth about work done on his nose? this obvious omission, one was forced to wonder what else Michael as not revealing. In the end, the press conference backfired. If anything, it raised more questions than it answered.